Hello again, I hope you are doing very well. I am Behrouz Bigham, and we are back with a new session of the Lumion graph package. In previous sessions we discussed the foundational and initial topics of animation and the move section. Continuing the sessions, we decided to undertake this project together. The scene you are viewing was meticulously designed and modeled by Ms. Safiari, and we plan to use it as our educational reference for this work. You can see how well she managed the modeling and design with excellent quality and high detail. Just one point, the scene we received initially had shrubs and spheres in these areas, and perhaps grass or weeds in other sections. If we check the renders, you'll see. I deleted these elements because they heavily weigh down the project, and there is no need. As we mentioned, we don't need to import trees, weeds, or grass from 3ds Max into Lumion. I simply deleted them. Instead, I separated these sections and assigned them a scanline material. The scene was originally created using V-Ray. I first converted it using the line exporter tool. Before that, we used our proprietary technique to convert physical materials to legacy materials. Now, some materials were converted correctly, while others ran into issues, which we edited manually. I manually selected all of these now. Some had a normal problem. We applied the normal modifier to them. If you don't assign the material correctly, this is how it appears, meaning there is an issue with the display direction of the vectors, normals. Regarding this, I will delete this and assign an edit mesh modifier. We have an option here called show normals. If I activate it, sometimes the segments are numerous and selection is difficult, but we can use grow to select them. Look at these, their normal direction is upwards. If I flip this normal, see what happens? It goes downwards. The result? It causes the object to appear black. So the fix is this. I delete it. Once finished, you must use collapse all from this section to merge them into a single object. We fixed all issues this way. Look, even this material remained, but it's not a problem. We can copy it there, or these pillows as well. I'll leave this so you can see the problems you encounter in Lumion if you don't perform these corrections and material assignments, especially this storage model, so you can clearly see its material. The entire scene currently uses scanline material. Some even had diffuse maps, because we used Lime exporter, and everything with a texture received a diffuse. But since we didn't need it, I deleted the diffuse maps and assigned only a separate name and a separate color so we can differentiate them there. Everything is clean now. I even deleted a jack that was here because Lumion has the necessary decorative assets internally. I must also mention one point here. See this yellow box that I have selected? We want to proceed with this according to the engineer's request. We want to assign a water material to this plane we placed. The pots and stones will appear to be submerged in the water. This is not difficult. We draw a regular plane and place it exactly where we intend. If it's too high or low, we can move it in Lumion, so we don't have this kind of problem. See, I detached all of these and gave them one material so I could apply a soil material to all of them. Or perhaps import them and perform cutout operations on them. Because the scene we received was full of vegetation and trees. When I imported it, it became very heavy, so it was practically impossible to import. Deleted all of them, and now it's simple enough to transfer this scene into Lumion and start our work. You need to select it. First, check that it's near the coordinate axis. If I look from above, I place it exactly on 0, 0 like this. Ctrl+I invert selection and delete, meaning any extra object in the scene is deleted. I select it again, move the pivot closer, and now I go through File, Export, Export Selected. I already did this once. Lumion Final FBX with a size of 283 megabytes. The scene is light and the FBX ord is very fast. See how great that is. I think even loading it in Lumion will be easy. I just performed the export again because we made 1 or 2 detailed changes. I go to the Create New section and open a new scene from here. Our favorite scene is good because the mountains prevent us from seeing empty lines in the reflection of the glass. We can change anything we want here. It's not an issue. So, I frequently use this scene as a base. I'll name it Lumion Final and categorize it under Lumion Graph. Okay, our scene has loaded. See how light and easy it is to work with. I click and then go to the selection option. Following the usual procedure, we move it up slightly. You generally need to do this. I think everything is okay. See, it is now completely separable. Only one door remains here, which we agreed to import separately. Excellent. After the scene is loaded, let me check the top. Everything is good. Since its name was wood, I think it automatically acquired a wood material. The issue you mentioned, as I recall giving it a scanline color, means they are all separated. Excellent. Just let's do one thing. If I try to work on the material of these pillows now, we will run into trouble. Let me edit the pillows too. I will detach them from it. Yes, let me go back into Max one more time. This is also practice for editing our model. I return to my scene, but remember, later we must export the whole scene again to update it, because if we only export a section, the scene will be erased. Let me check and show you one thing here. Look at the pillow that we didn't give a scanline material to and whose normals weren't corrected. See how it looks? It is ruined and practically unusable. So we must pay attention to performing edits if there are issues. I select it and assign the material. I delete the ones that are necessary. I want this one. We want these two. Let these be for another pair. And we follow the process similarly. Okay, I isolate them. And now I group the materials that need to be shared. I hit M and give them a separate material. Now you might say, well, it's finished here. If we are in material slate mode, it's fine. We can use infinite slots here, but if I work from here, I assign the same scanline material. I'll delete this one and assign another scanline material with a different color. Okay, this, and this. I delete one again, a new scanline. The same for this, delete again. Actually, I'll use the one we created. We've mentioned many times that if you hit delete on the first option, it only removes it from the slot and remains in the scene. If you select the other one, it deletes both. Okay, that's what we wanted. The same for this. Let me edit this one too. I lost track of which ones they are. I bring it here and assign it to this as well. See? I assigned it, but it still shows black. So what's the solution? One normal modifier, collapse all, and it becomes a single object again. We talked about this extensively in the modeling courses. Let me check these two to see if anything else is needed. Yes, it's okay now. Everything is excellent. These will be visible anyway. If I put it in an overall view, you can see that the water is also brought in as a model, since they modeled it. It is enough to assign a water material there. We'll take it with us, and if it looks bad, I'll use Lumion's own effects. Let's give these a material too, so they don't look bare. Good. If any flower or anything is needed, we'll put it here. The door is separate. Let me see if anything else remains. Again, it's not a problem. Any edit needed can be easily done. Well, now that our edits are done, we must repeat the same process. Ctrl+A. Check that you have selected everything. File, Export, Export selected. You don't need to overwrite the same file. I'll name it 40 now, because we need to re-import the model, and select the new file. Okay, done. I return to Lumion, and now I just need to go to Import Model. Select all of this and hold Alt. The re-import option becomes active. I click OK and import file 40. Even if we had materials in the scene, I don't think they will be lost. I'll test that. As far as I remember from last time, the materials remain stable and suffer no damage during re-import. But as we said, we can save the materials. If you have created a material and are sure it is correct, you can save it within the material settings before re-import, and if there is a problem, load it. Not just individually, but the whole scene. In the previous session, I mentioned that we can easily save all scene materials. And then, under any circumstances, if our shape runs into material issues, we can load them back. Because if we load now, the new models we imported and the new changes we made will remain. The previous work we did will all settle back into place. No matter how much I praise Lumion's merits and its attractive and professional tools, it's not enough, because during the time I've spent recording Lumion, the more details I become familiar with, the more I see that all the tasks we architects perform in both V-Ray and Corona are also available here. Our model has now been re-imported, and look, its issues are resolved. It's exactly what we wanted. Excellent. Look at the materials. They were damaged, and now my main scene is ready for me to proceed with material creation, photography, camera work, still shots, and animation rendering. Our first step is saving. I go to Lumion Final File and hit Save, and now we can comfortably start working on our project. We move to the material section and start our work. The first section was supposed to be a concrete material, perhaps soil now. I'll go to the landscape section. Yes, we decided to use soil. I select one of these. I think we can assign this one. Yes, it's not bad. We can change it later. We can decide on the material for this landscape relative to the camera later. Let this stay for now. For this section we should use a concrete material. I think it's in our stone section. Yes, here I have concrete tile. I said no, I'll fix the scale. If we want it to be wet, we should increase the reflectivity. No, I don't want it too wet. I'll slightly reduce its roughness. That's it. The rest of the settings are okay. I think we'll give this section grass, as if grass is growing between these stones. We can use these 3D weeds. It's settled well in place. I always have a habit of assigning them this way to see which gives the best result. Yes, this one. I can play with its options now, but don't give it too much thickness. You see how it looks. Yes, roughly. Let's raise the grass height slightly. Yes, that's it. If needed, we can also adjust its scale with intensity. Yes, like this. The rotation is also good. I checked this side. Excellent. I click Show Thin. Okay. Well, for this section we are going to use a Baumit material. It somewhat has the feel of our concrete, an artificial concrete-like material. It's a type of Baumit panel if you search for it. It's not just this way. I think we should use plaster. Exterior. Ah, exactly like this. Let's use one of these. I think the first one was better. Yes, it's roughly similar to this. I make the scale small, stronger bump, rougher roughness, like this. Let me see if I can add a sheen. We should use the stone material but not with this intensity. Since the new material is clean, I'll add a little bit. These bands make it look like we are adding AL ambient occlusion. Yes, look closer, if I increase it. Yes, having it is good. I can even copy it. Copy for this section too. A texture. The reference they sent me is almost a stone section. Where are our concretes? Ah, here. Well, for the concrete, I want to use a texture that I created myself. It's from Nova Color Textures. I took the photo myself. We increased the quality via the Image Larger website. I played with the contrast a bit in Photoshop. I created the normal map this way, its displacement and roughness as well. You see, all of them can be created in Photoshop. I hit Edit, Copy, and now I can import it here. I just need to assign a new standard material here and load them one by one from here. Yes, that's it. The color we need to assign here is roughly brown. See, it's something like this. The more you increase this, the more the texture percentage seems to be mixed with this color. This causes it to become nuts like this. Okay, let this remain for now. Of course, let me bring in its normal as well. I assign its normal map to relief. Yes, all the lines will appear slightly as we don't want lines to show. I give it roughness. The full 100%, meaning 100% of my map. If you lower this too much, it's like you are increasing or decreasing its value. This is that. You can save it, it saves very quickly, and doesn't take long like Max. I think we should give this black stone. I think this is suitable. Lumion's excellent library is supporting us very well. If you see anything you don't like, find its texture and PBR maps and input its properties yourself using new standard. Now you know we need notation. I can manipulate the angle in this way. This looks good now. If it doesn't cause problems from above, then it is fine. Since the material is ready, its settings are okay. I can click OK. Now folks, you should have separated the material of this one. See, this shouldn't have been the same as these. Be careful to edit that. This is all of them. Look, it took the material. Let me see what's left. Let's go give this section another stone. What do we have in the rock section? No, too much. Ah, these are for the floor. But we could use something like this here too. I'll leave this for now. I like this. We need to adjust its scale. Let's make it a bit larger so it's easier. That's it. Now we can use these marbles for this section too. Folks, do you know how fast the work is when we have a library? You can even find similar ones here. For example, later go to the textures and load a similar one. I think giving it the same concrete is better. Yes, I think this is suitable. Now I can take it out of this white state a bit. See, make our white grayish. It shows gray here. Now if we reduce this slightly, this happens. It's as if the texture remained and mixed with this color. So whenever you want to add a color to your texture, use this exact tactic, this exact method to get the best result. Now you can make the stone here. This one, rougher. Less bump, but enough to be noticeable. See, it's good. Let's move to the metals. We need to give it a beautiful black metal, like this one. Rougher roughness, a little bit of reflectivity and even slightly more metalness to make it look very metallic. That's it, smaller scale. Our glass, we want black glass too. Should we create it in this session or use the existing one? See this brown one. I'm going to make this brown black. Let our glass take on a black color too. I copy it. I think we are done with the lower section. Now I need to add soil to these areas as well. The landscape work is starting to take shape. Okay, I think this is good here. Let's go for the upper floor. I see this also clashes with these. Well, it's not a problem. At worst, we'll go back and edit it one more time. Let's fix these first. I will use the same soil material here that we applied previously. For this section, I think plaster would be suitable. I like these textures. Yes, this is good. Now we will apply water to this area. This might be useful for still shots, but for the animation render, we must use our specific effects. I will play with its options a bit. I want to increase the foam amount. This setting increases it because foam forms here. In this way the planters almost have their own material, because we couldn't access their textures and all. That is why they all remain colored. We are essentially designing this part as we go. It's not a pre-selected design. I prefer to keep it gray here. I wanted this specific texture. Okay, I'll apply the same soil to this section again. Actually, not soil, I think this brick material would be better. Yes, that's good. We adjust their scales. How excellent this looks. I am truly enjoying working in Lumion. What did we want for this section? Let me check the renders. Guys, our reference is approximately this. We applied these correctly. Look at these. These are what we received. I deleted all of them because including them in Lumion would make the scene too heavy. We did this section well too. We need to fill this area as well, and we will finalize its door. I fixed this too. Let's see what else remains. Nothing. So there is nothing from the top view. I will apply a material myself. I will copy one of these and paste it onto this. The material is good. Look, it's rusted. It turned out great. Let's create a cool fabric for this one too. Before that, I'll apply a wood material to this. I think this one is good. I'll play with its scale a little. Yes, that worked well. It's great how the UV adjusted with the scale settings in Lumion. It looks like we've linked them up. Let me increase its reflectivity a little. I think it's necessary. I also want to add a bit of dirt of the type. I'll click OK. Let's see. These also have their own wood materials. but they are not good. Let me see if copying this one works. This is a very good wood texture. It fit perfectly here. Excellent. I'll hit OK with this scale. We will also apply a metal texture to this. Yes, this one. The scale is fine. Guys, we need to place a piece of decor here. I'll go to the objects section. Where is the decorative section? No, we can place a drink here, for instance. Guys, you might say these assets are few, but they are not. If you open this library now, there are nearly 70 models inside. How nice. I'll put it in the middle, like this. We can even rotate it slightly. You can place anything you want, according to your taste. Like this. Yes. Okay. Let's go create fabric for these. I come to the materials section. I select this part and let's see if we can find our fabric internally, or if we need to bring in external materials. This is for carpets. This is for curtains. Aha, this is fantastic. No matter how much I praise Lumion, it's not enough. It's unique. Look how good its fabrics are. Look, these are all from Polygon. You know Polygon is a top-tier company in this field. We can even apply leather. Let me check the other one. No, we must choose from these. I will make the scale of this one a little smaller. Good. Even smaller. That's it. We can even choose a fuzzy texture. Let me adjust this. I will increase the bump. Okay, copy. This turned out very well. Excellent. I will set this. Higher bump. It also has displacement. Yes, there isn't much need for displacement because the normal map almost handles that job. Okay, I click OK. Let's paste this onto these as well. Or for this? Yes, let's paste this onto these. For these cushions, guys, I want to bring in this material. What is the number for the cushions? I paste it here. We extract it from the zip file. Yes, we need this repeat. That's it. This is the first diffuse. The second diffuse. Let me see if it has a bump. Yes, this is its bump. It applies the same one for the bump. So I will take these two, bring them here. One copy. Okay, we return to Lumion. I create a standard material. And guys, be mindful of the reflection and roughness of the fabric. You can even choose one of the polygon materials by default, so it adopts the fabric quality. A similar one is approximately like this. This scale is finer though. This also doesn't look bad. It's very good. Yes, now we have chosen. We can load our own. I click load. Control B. I load this for the diffuse. It's settled in place. You just need to adjust the scale, and the bump follows suit. Perhaps we need to make some changes to the bump. I set this to flip green channel. No, that didn't fix it. I flipped it in Y2, and it still wasn't okay. I think we can go create the bump. Let's learn how to create bump and displacement inside Photoshop and use it here. I mentioned in the first session how to create concrete, for example. You can learn in the same way here. You just need to drop the diffuse here, like this. In the simplest possible way, look, I click Filter. From the tiled section, select Generate Normal Map. This creates the bump, or the normal map, which is our relief. Our relief, which we know as bump, in Lumion. And this is for creating displacement, or the height map. I want to create both. First, I click on Normal. Here, guys, you need to adjust its detail. If I increase the blur, the detail disappears. If I decrease the blur, the detail returns. I want to have detail. This is the detail scale. The higher it is, the more those teeth are visible. I think this amount is better. Yes, I click OK. My normal map is ready, and I can save it as normal. I click Close. Let's go back to the diffuse. Let's create its displacement map once more. Now guys, Photoshop is suitable for creating the normal map. But for displacement, we can use more specialized software like Substance Designer, or even the simplest method we used before, the shader map software. You drop a diffuse there, and it automatically creates the height map and shows the real result. We can easily learn that too. I'll teach it when the time comes. This is also ready. I click apply. I click on the material and hit realize and load. And I bring in the normal map. Aha, see, it's not black and corrupted anymore. We can observe closely how well we were able to create our desired materials with separation in just a few seconds. I make it scale a little bit finer, and now I increase this much bump. I won't increase it further. That's it. Let me apply displacement too, and see if it makes a difference, because I usually don't use displacement on fabric. Yes, it didn't have much effect. As I said, we can't rely too much on fabric for displacement within Photoshop. Now I will keep a little. Don't leave the roughness like this so it looks like leather. Close it completely, meaning bring it here. Also, reduce the reflectivity a lot. That's it. Let me see if there are any other options for creating fabric here. This is also finished. I take a copy of it and paste it onto this one too. Now, instead of yellow, we can change this color. In what way? A similar color. Let's say I choose orange. Well, more you reduce this, the more it leans towards orange. That's it. This much is enough. Excellent. This is the fabric for our cushions. Okay, let's go to this section. For this, we decided to apply a water material. Let's apply a water material. That first one was very good. This way we want our stones to be visible. Wonderful! How good this is! Excellent! It's automatically adjusted. You see its height? These are our stones. Only the stone material has an issue now. Let's do something. I'll lower its height so these become stained. Let's give these a proper material. If we select the stones, however, so let's do something. I'll apply an invisible material to this one. Okay, well, look at the stones. A small part is sticking out. I managed to select it from here. That's why I kept that small bit elevated. Let's give it that reflective white stone material. Finer scale, higher reflection, and lower roughness. I can even delete this. I'll increase the roughness manually myself. The less this is, the more transparent it is. The relief is okay. It's fine. The reflectivity is also this much. Yes, it looks good. White, perfect. Now, I can work on my plan. We just need to play with these options to get the results. Also, be careful to adjust the water height correctly. You don't want it to come up too high. Reduce it, and it lowers. See, that's it. This is done. For the material of this section, I'll go to the new section and apply this. Water here, moving water, foamy. That's good because it's foamy now. Because of this, it doesn't have reflectivity. I finalized this too. Let's see what I can apply for the floor. Let's give this section a metal texture. How good this is. Look, it has mesh, a material specifically for mesh. Now these are practically doors. We don't need that. This is also new, raindrops on metal. You can definitely use it in rainy scenes, and be mindful that if you are using weather effects, take these seriously. I think this one is more suitable. We'll reduce the scale, and here we can use the soften option. I go to settings, soften. It automatically applies a chamfer to these edges. If you see your model doesn't have enough chamfer and is so sharp, that is very bad. We said we should not have very sharp edges, so we can do this interesting thing through the material inside Lumion. It turned out fantastic. I can also add a little dirt to it now. Dirt. Yes, rust. I select the grass we created here. I copy it. Its scale also got messed up because I think yes, we changed this one with these. It got ruined. We apply it to this section as well. These are grass. No, that was a mistake. To these. We have a problem here. These are not separate pieces. It seems the bottom part is also counted as part of this. So let's stop here. I think this session is enough. In the next session I will fix the issues with the work, and we will proceed with the rest of our tasks. I hope this session was also useful for you. Until the next sessions, farewell.